Hello everybody, welcome back. So the new season of Overwatch is here. Just went live a couple hours ago. And let's take a look at the patch notes, see what all's changed. Off top of my head, I'm still hoping Sojourn gets nerfed into the ground. I know everybody's still complaining about Freya. I really haven't had any issues with her. So I don't know what they're going to do with her. The only part that's annoying about her kit to me is there's nothing wrong with the kit balance-wise to me. It's the way it feels. Because her explosive arrows kind of feel like a weaker pulse bomb, where once you get stuck, it's like, oh, I guess I'll just wait to die. I'd rather it just be, I don't want the timer there. Either remove the explosion altogether, or make it instant. But it just feels bad to be stuck by that arrow knowing you're going to die for a second. That's just feels like eternity. Anyway, let's get into the game. Alright, Overwatch 2 retail patch notes, June 24th, 2025. Season 17 powered up. Stadium, Overwatch 2's dynamic round-based PvP mode continues to evolve with smarter built tools, fresh heroes and maps, plus competitive upgrades like drives and a rank reset to push mastery to the next level. Over in core modes, the fight expands with new Flashpoint Battleground and the debut of map voting, giving you the power to choose where the action unfolds. Then for the first time ever, both mythics drop at launch, go wild with Diva's Tiger Spirit Skin, or wield Reaper's Twin Terror weapons of chaos from day one. Not really a big fan of the Reaper ones, to be honest. The flourish on it's nice, but the weapon itself doesn't really stand out that much. Plus show off your style in new Overwatch Academy, 8-bit and Sakura looks from the Battle Pass. All these and more are in store to get you powered up in Season 17. Starting Season 17 strong, complete 17 quick play, competitive, or stadium matches from June 24th to 30th to score 4 epic loot boxes and 1 guaranteed legendary skin within. Supercharge the new season for a limited time. I mean, that's a nice way to kick it off. New core gameplay map. Atlas? I'm just going to say Atlas. I don't know why the 2 A's are on there. What is the robot's name? Athena. So I guess the first time I load into the map, I'll see how Athena pronounces it and go from there. For now, we'll just call it Atlas. Welcome to the hub of trade and artistry, Atlas. The stunning new Flashpoint map shows off the beauty and culture of Morocco. From a high-end resort to historical artisan guilds, Atlas has it all. And when you're ready for your next destination, hitch a ride on Atlas high-tech Hyperloop rail that can take you anywhere. Hold up, so you can actually ride the train? Every other map that has something like that, it instant kills you. If you touch the cars on Oasis, you explode. If you touch the train in, what is the name of that deathmatch map? I don't remember, but there's a train that everything like that in the maps normally just instant kills you when you touch it. So if you can actually ride it, that's kind of cool. Hacks and hijinks. Get ready to adapt or get steamrolled. Hacks and hijinks mode flips the script every round with rotating match modifiers that twist gameplay in a wild, unpredictable ways, from low gravity jumps to ultimate charge granting health packs. Every match demands fresh strategies and quick thinking, hacked by 8-bit Sombra herself, who's turned on the cheats and broken the rules for everybody. This limited time 6v6 mode runs on control maps only, so embrace the chaos and remix your Overwatch 2 experience in 8-bit with hacks and hijinks. Sombra has hacked control maps in the arcade. Try out game-changing modifiers in hacks and hijinks. Each round changes the rule set with wild effects like... This is exactly what it just said above. Why did they bother putting it on bullet points? That's weird. Yeah, available only in control. Remix match. Yeah, so the only thing in the bullets that wasn't in the paragraph is the date, which is July 15th to 28th. So that's kind of weird that they formatted it like that. And then we got a list of the actual modifiers. I'm not going to bother reading over those right now because this doesn't start till July 15th. I'll cover it when we get a bit closer. I want to go ahead and move along and get to the actual hero balance changes because that's what everyone actually cares about. Map voting. Map voting is a new feature that gives players more agency about what map they would prefer to play on. At the start of every quick play or competitive match, 3 maps will appear, and each player will cast a single vote on the map that they want to play. During the map voting phase, max match text and voice channels are disabled. That's kind of cool. Did not know they were removing the chat there. Team chat is enabled. Votes for each map from all players. Okay, so this is just... Okay, we already covered all this in the dev blog. Basically, every player's vote is worth 10%, and then it does a random. So, say 6 people vote for map A, the other 4 people vote for map B, and nobody votes for map C. Then it's going to roll a randomizer, and it would be 60% on map A, 40% for map B, and 0% for map C. So it just... How many people vote for the map just determine the odds that that map will be selected. It's never a guarantee. Report tool. A new report category called emergency is now added to the report tool and can be accessed in all areas. You can report a player except for the quick select report button on the scorecard. You can then report instances of social communication that implies a threat of extreme harm to another person or group of persons. False reporting other players using these categories may result in actions issued on the reporting player's account. Please remember to abide by the Blizzard in-game code of conduct, including when reporting other players. Kind of makes me curious how often that's happening, if they're having to add an emergency report button for it. Player endorsements. Endorsement scoring has been updated to be more dynamic and to improve the accuracy of the system, with the goal of making endorsement level feel more earned. Endorsement level should feel like a better measure of positivity, sportsmanship, and teamwork once the system has had some time to adjust to the new scoring. The scoring system now considers a variety of circumstances when players endorse each other, such as giving bonus score in situations players rarely endorse, like endorsing an enemy on a loss. Players that never endorse others will cause much less decay for their allies. We'd like players that want to ignore the system to also be ignored by the system. See, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that it would count against you just if nobody voted, period. I guess that's a good change. But it really doesn't matter since the endorsement system doesn't do anything. You get a little bit of bonus experience, that's it. These scoring updates may cause endorsement levels to be more volatile in the short term, so we'll be watching these changes carefully and tuning the dynamic scoring as needed. Streamer Protect, I don't care about that. I don't have streamer mode. And then it's time to get into the hero updates. Here we go. Hero updates. Damage roll passive healing reduction increased from 25 to 30%. And base health generation timer increased from 5 to 6 seconds. We knew both of those were coming from the blog a couple weeks ago. I still think that the first one is a terrible change. Zero reason for that to be increased. It honestly should be decreased. But I'm not going to go onto that rant again. I've already done that in the previous video. So, hero changes. Junker Queen. That's a lot of description text. Let's see what actually changed. Oh, wow. Several things changed on the shout. Overhealth increased from 175 to 200. Allied overhealth increased from 50 to 75. Duration for self reduced from 5 to 4 seconds. Allied duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds. So it's just straight up buffed overall, but it also incentivizes trying to use it on your teammates more. So that's good. I'm fine with those changes. Malga. Berserker passive. Overhealth conversion rate increased from 40% to 50%. Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want Malga to ever be meta again. But given how many streamers and higher ranked players are still constantly complaining about him, I didn't expect him to get any kind of buffs. That's kind of weird. I mean, he just explodes in lower rank lobbies. You just step out of the way until he stops glowing, and then he dies. So I've never really found him to be that oppressive, but I'm shocked that they gave him a buff. Ramatra. Nanite Repair Major Perk. Healing per second increased from 50 to 75. I honestly can't say if that's good or bad, because I don't think I've played Ramatra since they added perks. So I don't know if it was weak or strong. Zarya, Graviton Crush Minor Perk. Damage tilt over time increased from 30 to 40% of maximum health. Spotter Major Perk. Movement speed increased from 15% to 25%. Zarya definitely did not need any buffs, but I'm glad that the buffs they did are not going to be to her survivability. I mean, the speed can be considered survivability a little bit, but I really don't care what they're doing with the damage effects as long as they don't make her survivability any higher. So I'm going to count that as a win, even though she didn't need it. Whoa, damage. That's all of the tank changes. That's surprising. I was honestly expecting changes for Winston and Hog. Interesting. All right, so ended damage, Bastion. We knew this one was coming from the video too, or wait, was it the video or the blog? I think it was the blog. But yeah, his model and hits volume size has been reduced by 10%, so that's a good change. He honestly needed something for his survivability when he's in turret form, because he's had the biggest hitbox of any DPS and was slow as Christmas whenever he was in turret, so that's fine. Echo spread decreased from 1.4 to 1.1. That is a significant buff for Echo. That's scary. So that could make Echo like top meta. Oh. Wow, I don't even know what to say on that one. I mean, that was really Echo's only weakness, is how close she had to get to hit consistently, and that is a significant buff to the spread. Yeah, I don't like that. They need to have buffed several hit scan to compensate for that. So hopefully there'll be a soldier buff, or a Cassidy buff, or an Ashe buff, or something. Farah, shield health regeneration triggers when landing direct hits with rockets. Okay. Why is... yeah, I need to read this one. Developer comment. Part of the reason heroes like Reaper and Tracer had their damage reduced in the past was due to the shift to 5v5 format. Solo tanking and less frequent peeling made flanking heroes more effective. Along with their strong performance on certain maps and game modes like Push and Flashpoint, there is now less of a concern with the introduction of map voting and hero bans, which help limit overperformance. So we're restoring some of their damage potency. Hellfire shotguns, damage per pellet increased from 5.4 to 5.75. So hold up. We haven't got to the rest of them yet, but we buffed the damage passive, we nerfed the self-regen, and this paragraph just flat out said they're going to be buffing the damage for all flanking DPS? So, I mean, I guess that explains Echo, but Jesus Christ. On PC platform, Stimpak default button changed from next weapon to equip weapon 1. That's fine. Tracer, similar to Reaper. Tracer's damage increased from 5.5 to 6 per bullet. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be DPS season. DPS were already powerful, and now they're just going to be dominating every fight. If you have a bad DPS on your team, you might as well quit. Wow. Venture. Smart Excavator. Recovery time reduced from 0.7 to 0.6. That's fine. Support. Lifeweaver. Okay, we jump straight to the L's, so no changes for Ana, no changes for Baptiste. Kiriko, Brig, none of them? Interesting. Minor perk. Life grip cooldown reduced by 4 seconds if a debuff is cleansed. Lucio Crossfade, ability 1. Base healing increased from 16 to 20 health per second. I mean, I'm fine with that. That's actually a good change from the Lucio. The Lifeweaver one's whatever. Moira. Healing per second increased from 70 to 80. Moira already has the highest raw healing numbers of any support in the game. Why would we buff that? What's the reasoning? We wanted to boost Moira's overall healing output as she doesn't offer much direct utility compared to other support heroes. Yes, we know. She's never had utility other than healing. That's been a known fact forever. But her benefit other than healing is her self-survivability, where other supports are supporting the team by helping keep people alive through their abilities, their cooldown usage, etc., etc. Moira doesn't do that, but instead can take the place of the DPS watching the point. You don't have to, if you have a Moira, she can fade to the point and then fade back, fade to the point, fade back, and tap it and survive on point by herself. You don't have to waste a DPS to do that. You don't have to have a Tracer marking the point, or a Sombra, or a Venture tapping the point. Moira takes up that extra role in exchange for not having those cooldowns to benefit the team. So, this is an unnecessary change. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think where that's really going to come into play. Stadium is mainly boosting the orbs, so I don't see much changing on Stadium on that. With the changes we've seen so far, the biggest time I see that coming into effect is just when you have a Malga. And it also is going to be only at higher ranks, because a lot of people in the lower ranks still don't know that you can tap fire her secondary fire, because it has a heal over time. You don't have to just hold it down and waste all of your healing charge. You can just tap it once every how long does it last? Is it 3 seconds? I think it has a heal over time. Or, actually, let me go look at that. Okay, so while they're in the direct spray, it heals 70 per second and then lingers to heal an additional 51 over 3 seconds. So yeah, you can, unless they're just hard taking damage, you can just like tap fire it and save your heal charge as much as possible. It's just one thing a lot of people seem to not understand. I'll see Moira stand there and waste their whole charge when somebody's barely taking any damage. So yeah, that one's just a bad change. Moira did not need a buff. It's just a lot of people don't understand the value Moira can give. Zenyatta increased converted damage from 30% to 40% on the perk. That's fine. And then we get into the Stadium updates. Competitive rank's been reset with everyone starting at Rookie 1. We knew that was coming. That's why they're giving us the extra season to reach All-Star for the Juno skin for anyone who wants it. Players who reach Epic rank for the first time on Tank Roll can still earn the Epic Lead. Okay, yeah, so that's just going over. You can still earn all of the skins that were originally promoted for just Season 16. They have been extended through Season 17. It's just they're doing a full rank reset and let everybody start over because the balance was horrible. New heroes, Sigma, Junkrat, and Zenyatta. New stadium maps, Esperanza has been added. Simoa Volcano has been added. Stadium builds, that we knew this was coming, does finally give us some more details. Use this new feature to create builds and save them to easily access later from any Stadium game. Stadium Armory has been updated to support additional example builds and offer quick access to your save builds with new tabbed view. Access the new Stadium Forge and the Stadium Practice Range. Save up to 10 builds per hero. Access quick actions from the build list to order your builds, share, edit, duplicate, or delete. Name and describe your builds. You can share your custom builds with others by generating a share code. You can copy example builds to your save list. You can copy builds from any player in Stadium games, allowing you to review and edit them in the Forge. You can copy builds from Stadium replays. Save builds you have in progress from any Stadium game. I mean, that's all pretty standard, what we expected. Yeah, so that doesn't really answer any of the questions I had. Probably my biggest question still, which technically might be the build list to order. I mean, that's worded kind of strange, but I want to be able to not just save a build. I want to be able to save the order that build is going to select the items. So, say I have a build selected, and I want my second item to be something I don't have the cash for yet. Well, I want to be able to select, hey, if I don't have the cash for this, get this option B kind of thing, which I guess might be a little bit too complicated for a pre-save system. But I mean, I'll actually have to look into it and see how it works. Custom games. Stadium is now supported in custom games. That'll make a lot of content creators happy. Choose from a variety of options for them. Starting Season 17, you can now earn progress towards drives from Stadium games. Third-person camera improvements and all new implementation of aim down sights has been added for Ana and Ash. So that's kind of odd that we can earn progress towards the drives from Stadium. I figured that was going to come when we eventually got a quick play version of Stadium. But the fact that we still only have the competitive version is a little odd on that. Okay, and then we have the second set of balance changes. Diva Mecha Punch Booster Elimination also resets the cooldown of boosters. During boosters, quick melee now gains 50 attack speed instead of 75 damage. So you can reset your cooldown every time you do the punch ability. And then you fly 50% faster by meleeing during flight. So Diva is now Tracer. That's going to be interesting. Rare hero ability item now shows danger warning signs to the enemy if the enemy is within the blast radius. Decreased radius to 100%. Now shows danger warning sign to the enemy if the enemy is within the blast radius. Didn't it always do that, or am I thinking of something else? Nano Cola increased health stat to 50 up from 25. Removed stat health increased 5%. Those are fine. Junker Queen, let's go. Wind Power, decrease the cooldown reduction to 50%, down from 100%. Get 'em Gracie, or Cut 'em Gracie, increased reduction on cooldown to 2 seconds per enemy hit, up from 1 second. That one's pretty overpowered. But I think it will be necessary with Sigma being added. Because that's one of the few abilities that you can do through the shield, I think. Orisa, Siphonic Sphere, rare item, added stat 25 health. Arc Finder, rare ability hero item, added stat fit 5% cooldown reduction. So those are just minor tweaks. So nothing major on anything for Orisa. Oh wow, what Reinhardt, what do you got going? Impact Burst power now only damages other enemies around primary target. Explosion damage increased to 30% of fire strike damage, up from 15%. Trail of Lava now triggers on every second fire strike instead of every second fire strike cast within 2 seconds. That is a very good change, because there were so many times I would have to waste a second fire strike just to trigger the lava. So I would end up going into the rest of the fight down a cooldown. So the fact that you can stock it now is a lot better. Epic hero item, rarity changed to epic from rare, added 25% fire strike projectile speed, added for each additional enemy fire strike damages beyond the initial target, reduce the cooldown by 5%. Okay, so Reinhardt's just getting all kinds of buffs. Rocket strike was removed. Okay. Wilhelm Wagon changed to epic item from a power, added 50 armor, 11,000 cost, removed the you heal for 5% of damage it mitigates. Oh wow, I don't know about that one. I haven't played enough Reinhardt to know how that would affect an overall build. I mean, it'll free up a power, but it's also going to cost an extra item now. I'll have to look. Infusion generator changed to a power from item. Okay, so this is the one I got swapped with. Barrier field health increase now only increases from bonus max life. Barrier field health scaling up to 250% from 100%. I'm going to have to actually play around with them because I have no idea if this is a net buff or nerf. The lava change is a good one. The projectiles, I mean, okay, so the first two are both fine. Good changes. These, they're just weird. Increased healing based on max life to 5% from 4%. That's fine. Okay, I'm not going to read through all of Sigma, Junkrat, and Zenyatta's stuff. that would be a whole nother video. We're just going to cover the ones that are changing, and then I'll jump into Stadium and actually test some of these. Zarya got a bunch of changes. Each barrier can only grant a maximum of 45 energy regardless of barrier health. Okay, that's a good nerf. Increased overhealth based on remaining barrier health up to 100% from 50%. You don't know about that one. Duration down. Okay, so that one did have a compensation buff / nerf. Containment shield removed barrier health barrier heals 20 life, increased by energy. Added barrier heals target for 5% of your max life. Okay, so do any of these just stand out? Because most of them are just little up, little down, little up, little down. Added 25% reduced maximum energy gain. That's a significant nerf. Right? Am I reading that right? So you just gain 25% less energy if you pick that power? Fission Field. I need to go look and see what that ability is. Bonus max life, increased barrier health scaling, maximum energy decreased. So overall, it looks like most of these are nerfs. Issue with Vortex didn't grant ultimate charge, damage reduced to 80, cost increased. Yeah, so all of these are either like balanced, where it's a little up and a little down, or a net nerf. So Zarya is significantly weaker overall in Stadium, I think, which I'm fine with. I hate playing against Zarya. Bob Jr. decreased duration to 10 seconds down from 20 seconds. Thank you, God. I do not know how many times I have died just walking around a corner low health thinking, oh, he must have been gone a while ago, and I just get randomly shot. That should never have been a 20-second Bob. Reload no longer generates currency. That's fine. Silver Spurs, increased duration. Now reloads 25% of max ammo on coach gun use. Fine with that. So Ashe, I think in the last chart I saw, it still had Ashe as like the lowest win rate of any DPS in Stadium. So I'm surprised to see a nerf, but if they were going to nerf her, that was the correct one. Cassidy, Fan the Hammer, only in the Stadium mode. After the 6th shot, weapon spread is increased. Dead Man Walking, bonus ammo is now gained on critical final blow. Added max cap of bonus ammo set to 4. So no more of, they nerfed him into the ground. No more of this right-click Randy build where you get him up to like 18 ammo with instant reload and max damage, and you're just going through holding down right-click at every tank. So I'm glad that that got nerfed. Max ammo, max cap of bonus ammo set to 4. Decreased damage reduction to 25%. Total damage reduction now 75%. Yeah, so that's fine. So he just got straight nerfed. Freya, the main one everyone's been complaining about, except me. I'm still complaining about Genji, so hopefully he got nerfed. Increased cash. Interesting. So cash income increased by 13%. So that's a significant buff to Freya. That's going to piss people off. Let's see the rest of it. Power, increased damage to 50%, reduced damage, up from 60% reduced damage. Okay. Added 25% reduced radius on bola shot fired. VFX reduced to reduce visual noise. Updated tooltip to reflect the earlier changes. Yeah, that's not going to change anything. I mean, if you're missing every time and needed that little bit of extra range, then sure, you'll notice a difference. But if you're even remotely close with your shots, this isn't going to change anything. Hunter's Mark, added 5% weapon power, bonus cash on eliminating a target with a bounty of 750 or more, increased to 350 up from 250. So this middle one's just kind of whatever. And then you've got a significant cash buff and a minor cash buff. So Freya overall got significantly buffed. She's going to be unlocking her abilities faster than anyone else in Stadium. People are going to riot over this one. And I'm just sitting here laughing my ass off because I honestly don't care about Freya. She hasn't been that big of a deal for me. But that's all anybody's talking about on the forums, the threads, the comments, is how broken Freya is, and then they turn around and just straight up buff her in Stadium. That's funny. Genji. Hidden Blade. Reduce quick melee damage down. Okay, that's fine. So less damage, more life steal. That's fine. Increase the cost. Increase damage over time to 35% of Swift Strike damage, up from 25. Fixed an issue where this power did not benefit from ability lifesteal. Okay. And then Clean Sweep. Increase ability power to 15%. Ooh. So, balanced, nerf, buff, buff. What's their comments on this one? Genji melee builds have become very prominent, which is awesome. However, the bursty backstab build is a little too consistent and can feel hard to interact with. We're reducing the damage. No. This is not the issue. The thing that makes Genji so annoying in Stadium is the block. Or the deflect, whatever. The deflect. Because you have so many items that can reduce the cooldown of your abilities. So you can build into a just straight up damage build that also has cooldown reductions, and by the 4th or 5th round, he has deflect on a 2-second cooldown. By the time you've dashed, you have deflect back up. You just can't kill him with the current roster. I mean, if you have a Zarya, you can kill him. If you have a Mei, you're got a decent matchup. Other than that, your only option is to throw a Hinder Grenade over his head and hope he's still there when the deflect runs out. This is not the issue that people are having. It's not the melee backstab build. It's the fact that he'll go in to backstab you and you can't do anything to him as a response. Junkrat, as much as I want to go read through these, because this is the main one I'm looking forward to this season, is Junkrat. I want to be surprised when I actually drop in and get to play around with them. So again, we'll skip this, and then we'll skip Zenyatta's too. How many more we got? Oh wow, we still got a bunch to go through. This is going to be a long video. Where do we leave off at? So next one is Mei. Avalanche power has been removed. That's fine. Cold Blaster, new power added. Blaster's primary fire does 20% increased damage to enemies within Blizzard. That's a waste of a power. Permafrost increases Mei size by 15% when above 30% power. That's fine. Himalayan Hat increased attack speed to 15% up from 20. Up from 10. None of these are going to affect anything. Those are all fine balance changes. Reaper. Strangle Step power now has 30% Shadow Step cast speed. Okay. Wraith Renewal. Reduced healing to 7% down from 10%. That's annoying, but it needed to happen. But that was always the first power I would pick anytime I played a Reaper. So it's kind of sad to see it nerfed. But yeah, that was overpowered. The Reaping, health restored from lifesteal granted by the Reaping, was unintentionally granting Stadium cash, was it? Did not know that. Night Creep item, moved to rare, no longer has 30% step cast speed, so that just got moved to the power. Cost $37.50, now provides 5% weapon power, 5 move speed, and after using an ability, nearby enemies are revealed. Ooh. So that's a nice change. That's going to be a powerful item. Crowd Control, moved to rare. Replaced ability power stat with 10% lifesteal. Now grants 4% ability power per target. Yeah, so nothing really changing there. I'm just going to skip through any of the basic number changes. I want the hero-specific ones. Fixed a bug where the move speed increase was not affecting Death Blossom's trigger. That's fine. Changed effect to Death Blossom. When Death Blossom starts, gain overhealth equal to 5% of your max life for each enemy within its range. That's a good one. That might actually get people to start picking the, I don't remember if it's an item or a power, but the one that does like a mini Death Blossom anytime you teleport in. Having the extra survival might actually make that useful instead of a throw pick. Devastation, those are all just number changes. Soldier. Overhealth now stacks with multiple biotic fields are active at once. Overhealth based on max life reduced from 25 to 25% down from 30%. Another one that's going to piss people off is everybody was just tired of the auto aim on the 1 second visor ability. So that's going to make people mad again. Double dosage on Ana, redesigned to work only on enemies, only up to 30%, does not stack. Decreased cooldown to 30% down from 35. Which one was that? Double dosage was originally designed to support aggressive plays. We've redesigned it to better serve as a forward-facing tool. Yeah, that doesn't tell me anything. I don't remember what double dosage was, so I'll have to check on that one. Juno, evasive glide hero item has been removed. Lock on shield. Change the category and then a bunch of number changes. No one cares. Changed a bunch of numbers. No one cares. Medicinal missiles power removed additional 30 healing. So just, it looks like mostly nerfs. But again, it's just minor balance tweaks. It's not going to change anything. So those that are out there fearing the dreaded missile barrage build Juno, sorry, it's still going to be a thing. Kiriko. Soothing step power, increased healing, number changes, triple threat. Yeah, so nothing major on Kiriko either. When using healing Ofuda, each Ofuda thrown heals you for 3%, so you get a self-heal, that's fine. Lucio, healing adjusted from 100% of crossfade healing to 20 healing that is doubled while amp it up. That's weird. Remove the while you are wall riding soundwave cooldown refreshes 25% faster and adds 1 max ammo every 1 second until you reload. Added every 1 second wall riding, you gain 3% move speed. Healing also now triggers on quick melee damage. Sure. Then we got all the Zenyatta stuff. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all even want me to keep going over the stadium changes in these patch note videos or just stick with the regular patch note changes, balance changes. Because 90% of the stuff in stadium changes is always just little numbers that nobody's going to notice anyway. I mean, I'm trying to skim through and just pick out the big stuff, but I'm sure I've missed things here and there. But if I tried to read through every little number change they do, this would be an hour-long video. Armory. So, okay, so this is just general items being changed out. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue with Ana's mythic weapon. Did not change color based on healing or damaging an enemy. Cassidy fixed an issue where Deadeye did not properly account for Hazard Spike Guard. Fixed an issue where Cassidy's Deadeye failed to shoot through breakable objects. Freya fixed an issue that incorrectly required level 20 progression with Freya to unlock the silhouette icon instead of 10. Fixed an issue with random from favorites option missing from Freya's highlight intro. Stadium fixed an issue that could lock the screen if the player died while having a menu open. Fixed an issue that prevented Super Flexor mod from stacking when using alongside Ana's pinpoint precision. Fixed an issue on Cassidy where Frankie's fixed power did not correctly grant the bonus health. Diva fixed an issue with prevented Diva's damage from scaling properly without exiting and re-entering her mech. Fixed an issue where the lava from the protocol mod did not apply other mods' effects. Interesting. Fixed an issue where the legendary loadout power inflicted excessive damage when combined with other ability mods. Freya fixed an issue where Freya's power did not would max out weapon spread after using the take aim ability. That explains a lot. Fixed an issue where mods failed to apply to Junker Queen's quick melee. Fixed an issue on Juno where the orbital power failed to apply slow effect to the enemies. Kiriko fixed an issue with self-care, has been re-enabled. Fixed an issue with donut delivery, did not scale. May fixed an issue. Yet, I mean, none of these are even worth going over, honestly. I'm sorry to anybody out there that wants me to just keep reading line by line on this, but most of these change nothing. And most of them are bugs that most people have never seen or knew existed. So we're just going to go back up and recap real quick on the regular balance changes. Surprising that not more tanks got changed. Bastion's going to be interesting. I don't know how much the hitbox change is actually going to affect things, but it did need to happen. I'm scared at the buffs for Echo, Reaper, and Tracer. I'll have to actually see how it goes in game. And the Moira change is just straight up stupid. Everything else is fine. But stupid change, scared about the 3 DPS flankers getting buffed, and surprised about the tanks not getting changed more. But that's going to be it for the patch notes for this season. I'll be back to go over a bit more Stadium here in the next video after I get to play around a little bit, because I'm hoping I can cause a lot of chaos with Junkrat. Please let me get like super bouncy bombs or unlimited mines or something chaotic, because I am so looking forward to that. But for now, that's going to be it. Y'all have a good one.